I mean, would you say being a successful producer and engineer is a lot about putting the work in and just working hard?
Yeah, of course. Well, it's just, I mean, it's about understanding how to work in a team, I think. And yeah, but also working hard.
When you're panning your signals, I'm obsessed by panning today. I don't know what's going on. I've never been this obsessed by panning before.
It's important.
Okay, good. When you're panning your guitar with a bit of reverb on it, do you match the panning of the reverb?
God, no.
No, you don't care, do you?
I don't care.
Right,
no.
Okay.
But I tell you what I do. This is one little trick. Well, it's not even a trick. I don't even know if it's for any good. But to give like a guitar kind of sparkle and a sense of space, I put it through, I send it to crystallize it. So if I'm panning on it's on the left, I pan it, the send to the right, far right, and then send that to a reverb to the far left. So it's got like a weird sort of little shimmer that kind of, so it makes it feel like it's all kind of all encompassing, but the dry signal is right there.
Oh, so the reverby stuff's on the opposite side, effectively.
Yeah, but then you get a sense of that on the left hand side as well, far left.
Yeah.
Because I send the crystallizer to a reverb as well.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah.
So you got the guitar on the left, crystallizer on the right, and a bit of reverb everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Because I remember talking to Greg Haver, somebody else we interviewed a long time ago, and he was obsessed by saying, "Oh, you've got to have the reverb at the same panning position as the signal," and he was sort of very dogmatic about that.
It's probably the right way to do it.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
I've never bothered really.
What is the...
yeah.
I feel like I learn something new every day. Like Al will come in and go, yeah, that kick drum needs sort of like maybe 126 hertz or whatever, and I'll go, wow, that's like a whole new frequency that I just haven't explored before. Suddenly, like I'm obsessed with 126.
Yeah.
Or I remember like ages ago him telling me about 1.5K.
Right.
I was like, wow, this is like adding that into the kick and the bass. Just yeah.
I like a bit of that.
And then I think I went through a phase of just everything had that in it, which is not great.
Well, that's where all the interesting stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because people get obsessed by top and bottom, but actually, if you want it to sound good on your oratones, it's the middle that's important, isn't it?
Yeah. Am I allowed to say stuff like that?
So it's fantastic. It's great stuff.
But yeah, I think I definitely go through phases. Like I just explore, or I feel like I've suddenly discovered something technical that I just didn't know about, and then that becomes like my little thing. Or I go through phases of not liking something, like hi-hats or cymbals. I'm not going through that phase at the moment. I'm into them. Good.
I think we all do that. You always sort of think you've cracked it. Every 3 months you go, oh, I've cracked it. 126 hertz, that's it.
Breakthrough.
And
how did I not know this before?
I'm 47 years old and I'm still doing that, so it doesn't stop.
You still go,
well, thank you very much. But that's very sweet of you. You still go, oh, I know what to do, or you suddenly discover a mic in the bottom of the cupboard that you'd forgotten about. That's the thing. Somebody lent me a AKG D19C, which is one you see over Ringo's kit in all the Beatles photos. And I've sort of had it, and because it uses a stupid connector, and I've got a cable for it, but I just never bothered. Yeah. And then about 2 weeks ago, I thought, I'll start recording everything with that. Now everything I record is with that now. Yeah. And it's like, that's my new thing.
Don't you reckon also like someone will go, oh, I don't like that, and you'll go, oh yeah, okay, and then so you forget about it, and then you come across it again and go, what did I used to do? Oh, what the hell was I thinking? This was like bloody amazing. Idiot.
So what happens when you do a mix, you plug in loads of stuff.
Yep.
Sounds great. Do you then stem it all or do all that boring stuff and record it all back into the Pro Tools, or what do you do for recalls and things, or do you just write everything down in the old-fashioned way, or?
Is that sorry? So
if somebody comes back 2 weeks later and says, "We love your mix, but can you turn the vocal up a dB?" What have you done? Have you written it all down, all the settings, or have you?
You mean if I'm mixing in the box, or if
if you're mixing on the desk?
Oh no, recall everything.
You write it all down.
If I'm mixing on the desk, I'll definitely do stems, but also do print lots of versions, like vocal ups, vocal downs, a cappella instrumental, all that sort of stuff, so that it will be easier later down the line. Yeah. But I also I also do alts as well, sort of anticipating what they might change their minds about.
Right.
Which I mean, this makes way more work for me because in the end, after a week, everyone loves the first mix that I sent off, so it doesn't matter. But at least I feel better about it.
Yeah. It's boring though, isn't it, all that stuff?
Yeah, but when I'm mixing in the box, and usually it's sort of budgetary constraints, I won't do stems.
No. Well, it's in the box. You can just dial it up again, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's after. And also, I just think it kills the momentum as well. Like I just want to keep moving.
Yeah. It's like an extra day of studio time to run stems, isn't it?
I know.
It's very dull.
And I'm so anal about those sort of things as well that just I end up sort of printing and reprinting, and I'd rather just not have to worry about it.
Right. So if you're using, say, like the Space Echo or something like that,
yeah,
you record that back in then?
Definitely, yeah. All those sort of things, or reamping, just everything's all those sort of stuff, all those sort of things.
Have it as audio.
Yeah.
And do you plumb in lots of sort of outboard EQs and compressors and things for processing vocals and things like that, or is it mainly stuff like Decapitator and?
Well, if I'm mixing in the box, I try and make it as easy as possible and as quick as possible. Obviously, I run it through like a summing mixer, like we've got the Chandler.
Oh, right.
And I'm using Al's Massive Passive and Vacrack at the moment, and my Obsidian. And then definitely in the start of Howling Bells, I tried to use as much outboard as possible, but it just, having to go back and forth so quickly, I had less than a day a mix, basically. And that's also getting comments from everyone too. So, I just thought, I'm going to try to make this as easy as possible. But I think it still sounds great. I mean, because it's the way it was recorded, and also I didn't really change much in terms of the sounds of stuff. Right. And it was more a balance thing. Yeah. And getting sort of.
Well, you recorded it all, didn't you? As well? So presumably you got it kind of how you wanted it in the first place.
Yeah, I know. Which is what sort of took me halfway through mixing to go, hang on, I liked it. What am I?
But I suppose there's always that thing you feel like you need to reinvent something when you start mixing, don't you? You sort of think, I better mix it now. Yeah. You change everything, don't you? Yeah. It's just force of, I don't know what it is, but you just want to do that, don't you?
Don't you reckon it's like a process? It's like how some people will always automatically time drums, even though they don't need to, because they feel like, okay, once I've done that, I know that that's okay. They can sort of tick that off. Like my thing is always, I know a mix is finished when I'm up to kind of de-essing the vocals, drawing out all the breaths, and then I go, okay, now I feel like it's finished. I
was going to ask you on the Howling Bells. There's actually quite a lot of breath noise left in between words. Was that a policy decision, or was that?
Yeah.
Right.
Because normally as well, I would.
It's one of those things that you feel like, oh, I ought to do that, but actually it sounds great because it sort of makes it sound exciting because you go.
I know, because her breaths are so gorgeous, and they're also almost part of the timing as well. And we did have a conversation. There's one track, Paper Heart, where you can still hear all the sort of wetness in her voice. Yeah, and she was very emotional as well. And I mean, in a way, it was happening throughout the words, and I could have spent hours. Getting rid of it, but I liked it. It's almost like you can sort of hear the tears through her voice or something. It's glorious.
Look forward to hearing the rest of the album.
Yeah.
And what reverbs did you use on that then, on the Howling Bells?
We used one main reverb, which was the Lexicon 480 fat plate, which we then recorded back in, and I just sort of fed that into the mix. And then if I needed to control it, we had, like, using TR Space plugin, I just had the what are they called? Response.
Convolution. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
IR.
Impulse response. Yeah. And to sort of mimic it, and then fiddle around with the delay and time and stuff. But other than that...
And how did you get that very compressed sounding tambourine? Apart from using lots of compression, I presume.
Yeah.
It's quite dull though for tambourine.
It's recorded like that.
Is it? Right, yeah. So how did you do that then? Can you remember?
Yeah, I can. And this is just going to sound so ridiculous.
That's what we want.
Basically, because we were moving so quickly, rather with overdubs, especially drum overdubs, rather than going, okay, I'm just going to use one mic, I just duplicate the drum mics. Right. put them all into record, hit record, and then bounce it down basically like that. But I'd get him to move around as well.
Right.
So I'd have them all out of 2 outputs. Go, okay, this sounds great. And so because we had that mic, the over compressed mic, that that was sort of fed in as well.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Yeah. And then, when he did some tom overdubs as well. I mean, that's all, just placement in the room and just having a load of mics open. And
I suppose that's the advantage of not doing it on tape then, isn't it?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have
16
spare channels to fetch
that's
whatever
true.
it is. Yeah.
Shh. That's true.
So tell me more about your panning theories when you're mixing as well, because do you sort of
have you noticed something in common?
Well, I don't know. No, I just wonder. Some people that going back to old Mixer Man again. One of his things in his book is that he claims that he only ever puts things either completely in the middle or completely on either side and nowhere in between.
Oh,
but I can't imagine how you do that.
No, Al and I were talking about this the other day actually. I think it's like lead guitars will always come a little bit from the left.
Yeah.
Like I like to hear them coming at me from here.
Yeah.
Tambourine's a fair game, and I usually like them quite loud and quite prominent. So sometimes they'll be on top of the snare or hard left or hard right. Same with shakers. Rhythm guitar or acoustic guitar from the right, like the same sort of...
Yeah.
Like just sitting right there.
Yeah.
What else have I got? Sometimes I'll pan the kick and snare a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right.
Okay, yeah. Do you find that if you put a tambourine really hard one side, you sort of really feel like, I've got to put something bright over that side? And
no.
You don't care?
Don't care. Feels good. And also almost like subliminal as well.
Yeah.
If it's quite loud and a little bit over here, it's something that's consistently keeping or incessantly keeping rhythm, but almost don't notice it. Maybe.
Because there was one track, I can't remember what it was now, one of your things, I made a little playlist of stuff you'd done yesterday, I was listening, and there was like no hi-hat going on. It's like, how do you make that sound bright and alive without any cymbals?
Which is...
it's something... I can't remember now.
I love hi-hats.
I know,
but sometimes...
people, they're not fashionable, are they, though? People don't,
Maybe I went through a phase of not liking hi-hats. I
think it's just, presumably the drummer hadn't played it, it was just...
Oh, okay.
I can't remember what it was, I can guess at which... hang on. Right, it might have been Silent Film.
Oh, okay, yeah, probably. They probably just didn't have the hi-hat.
Might have been that, I think.
But so you think
Danny Dakota and the Wishing... whatever it is.
Yeah. God, I can't remember if there was hi-hats.
Hang on. Right, actually, I'll play it out of my Spotify playlist and check.
What were you commenting on? That it wasn't bright?
No, it sounds great. So I just wondered how you make a track like that sound bright without a hi-hat. That wasn't that track at all. Hang on, was it? That wasn't that. No. Maybe it was Buchanan. No, it wasn't that. I don't know what it was. Got my Catherine Marks playlist here. So.
God, it makes me sound really good.
No, it might have been this.
Oh, that's the Mayfield, yeah.
Yeah.
No hi-hats, no.
What's going on?
Because that's the programmed drums.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
There was a tambourine there. But
and quite a bright snare.
Yeah.
But it's quite a dark song. It's like, it doesn't need something clangy in there.
No.
I love that song.
It sounds great, yeah. I do like that, yeah. But I just wonder, because I don't know, if I'm ever mixing a track that's not got a hi-hat, you always think, how am I going to, you just tend to over-brighten everything.
Yeah.
You're not with really bright vocals,
Probably comes from the vocals,
yeah.
I guess. Or you'd give something shimmer and air.
So, are you aware of that sort of, the tonal values of different things in the mix? I always sort of think of, like, the vocal has to be brighter than everything else almost sometimes, just to make sure it kind of...
I don't know if it's necessarily a conscious thing, but it's more how I see the mix. So it'll be where I want things to sit or how I want them to feel, rather than it's, okay, I need to boost 3.5k in this or 12 in this or whatever.
The Killers, Runaway, you mixed that?
No, I didn't mix that. That's like, I just helped.
Your assistant mixer?
Well, I sort of started off the mix, I guess,
okay.
because I think Al was away.
Oh, right, I see.
I'm wrongly credited on that, and I shouldn't. I should probably take that off my website. 'Cause I feel really bad. Because also the other thing is, and maybe you can't use this, but Al mixed that 19 times.
Did he really?
So I should not bloody take any credit for that. Yeah, I spent a day and a half setting it up.
Well, that's longer than you spend on some of the mixes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm going to take that off my website. That's embarrassing. Because also, did you read that Howling Bells interview? It was it says Catherine Marks and Alan Moulder, Catherine Marks, producer Catherine Marks, Foals and Killers. I'm just like, because I've worked with Ronnie Vannucci, who's the drummer in the Killers, a lot.
Right.
I worked on his Big Talk record, but I haven't really worked. Yeah.
I won't worry too much. There's all sorts of people boasting about things they've been nowhere near even. So.
Really? I get really embarrassed about that.
I bet there'll be loads of stuff that you haven't been credited for.
Exactly.
That's true.
Have you come across this, credit where credit is due, Music Producers Guild campaign? Has Tommy D pestered you about that at all?
No.
There's a whole campaign because obviously on Spotify and iTunes there are no credits.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get files embedded with credits.
It's a good idea.
It's a great idea, yeah. They're sort of campaigning to make that a standard, because it wouldn't be hard to do really, technically, would it?
I think the only reason that is important is for people, in the general public to understand or appreciate or put some value onto what we do, only so that we can make more money.
But you're absolutely right. But we should. Why shouldn't we?
Because of the input that we have in whatever the creation.
I think you're right. I think people would value things probably more if they did know. Don't you?
Yeah, I think so, and not in a celebrity kind of way either. It's more just maybe glamorizing it a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. Because it's definitely not glamorous.
That's absolutely fair point.